All right, good morning, everyone. Sunday, June 4th at 12 noon on the East Coast and 9 a.m. on the West Coast. Kenneth Price for psychiatricsobriety.com. I'm here with my two favorite mighty companions, my two favorite besties, but you're all my favorites. Chris and Beloved, hi. We are here to unwind ourselves. We are here to unbelieve in ourselves. It's the self that contains the mental illness. So we are a band of warriors who do some, excuse the terminology, badass work every Sunday morning at the same time because we were all diagnosed as mentally ill, or we were on psych meds or whatever, the world said was wrong with us. We are here to, we're system busters. We're not going to find out what's wrong with us. That didn't work. We're going to stamp what's right with us. And we're going to get the hell out of this dark forest of mental illness. What others said were mental illness. We were never mentally ill in the first place. We just, ate the poison and tried to conform to a sick society. But like Krishnamurti says, to be well-adjusted to an insane society is not a sign of mental health. So we're taking back our power every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Got to smile at a beloved. We're not here to protest psychiatry. We're not here to act as doctors and to help anybody get off their meds, because we don't know if you should be exiting psychiatry. We don't know if you should be off your meds. We finally made the decision to get off our meds. We finally made the decision we didn't exit psychiatry. We graduated from psychiatry. We started to take these courageous steps. And psychiatry was no longer a vibrational match for us. So that's sort of what we do every Sunday morning at the same time. I don't know what else to say for this. It's a ministry, folks. I didn't emerge from mine without the help of, I didn't emerge from mine without Grace. As a matter of fact, beloved Grace. Grace is her second name. Her surname. I pre-qualify myself. I don't have any spiritual credentials. I'm not even a credentialed minister, but you don't need, worldly credentials. You need wisdom. And I spent 25 years of my life in psychiatry. I spent 25 years, on countless medications and pills. And so let's just kind of call it out like it is. Dr. J, fill in the blanks, is now my new physician. And that is not an allopathic doctor, by the way. Can't see, hear, smell, taste, or touch Dr. J. But apparently I got on my knees. Well, I got on my knees and I said, help. Dr. J came to the rescue. Not the biblical J, more like the metaphysical J. But basically, Dr. J came and said, here are the steps you need to start taking, and I'll walk with you every step of the way. Just take my hand. All right, so that's it. There's my 3-minute introduction, but we can't start this out without a prayer, because it's not because I'm super wise, or it's not because I'm this or that. It's because I've been around the block long enough. I'm 56 years old to know when to get out of the way. That's just it. We become messengers. And in order to become messengers, we say the healer's prayer, which goes like this. We are here only to be truly helpful, and we are here to represent him or her who sent us. We do not have to worry about what to say or what to do, because he or she who sent us will direct us. We are content to be wherever he or she wishes, knowing that he or she goes there with us, and we will be healed as we let him or her teach us how to heal. So there's my 5-minute introduction. Did it in 4 minutes time. What's on everyone's mind? Good morning, Chris. Good morning, beloved. Good morning, Jody. Hola, Greg. ¿Cómo está todo?
What?
What are you all talking about? What? Huh?
You told me to hold on what? I'm sorry.
I said hola, hola.
Oh, hola. Okay.
Didn't tell you
We got a good group today. These are my favorite psychiatric sobriety people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jody, do you want to start us off? Because again, I can't stamp enough that reaching, I call it support. And that's exactly what you and I joined on this morning. You know, you wise. I can't do my now. Ultimately, you know, when we use the word mighty companion, ultimately, you know, we're supposed to go to spirit. But let's you know, add the middle step in there. Spirit uses us as messengers. So when we say go to a mighty companion, you know, if someone's a Course in Miracles fundamentalist, will say, well, just go to the Holy Spirit. Well, guess what? The Holy Spirit speaks through other humans. And when you called me, you gave me the gift of standing back, and whatever came through me was a message that you were asking for. Does that sound fair? How did that sound this morning?
Yeah, thank you, Kenneth. Again, thank you. I was drowning this morning. I sent a message to Kenneth, basically saying help, and he called me, and it was perfect. I was melting down. This alchemic process is painful, and it's really helpful to just have somebody there. I mean, preferably somebody who's been down a similar path, because we could definitely have people around us when we're going through it who are not helpful. People who enforce our victimhood are not helpful. They're trying to help, but they're not actually helping.
Or people who believe that something is going wrong. Because I didn't hold that belief. I knew something beautiful was happening. So I was not, you know, I'm sorry I interrupted you, but that was.
Yeah, no, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And because yeah, exactly. Because nothing is going wrong. And to have somebody like try to fix that, there's nothing to fix. It's so what happened is I was having an emotional reaction. And what I'm learning about emotions is that they flow. And if I allow it to come up and go out, then it goes. It's the mind that keeps us stuck. It's the stories that I start telling myself about the feelings that keeps them circulating. So to have somebody with us, and I'm really, really, really liking that term, a mighty companion, to just sit with us. Get down in the mud with me and sit.
Yes.
Like just come and sit in the mud with me. Don't. It's so powerful. Because nothing has gone wrong. Nothing went wrong this morning. It sure felt wrong because it's really uncomfortable. And our society teaches us that that's wrong. That we need to distract it. We have all of these different things in our society that we use to distract away from the pain that we're in. That's not where the healing is. The healing is to allow it. And then I love how Keith Kavanaugh says, get up in that theater with Jay and just watch it. Don't judge it. And it's just another form of like, just be with it. So yeah, I'm so grateful to you this morning, Kenneth, because yeah, I was drowning. Like just drowning. I didn't know how to, I didn't know what to do.
Jody, you're so much appreciated for having reached out, because this is the formula that I wanted to share with the world. It's the formula that finally worked in my story. And I want to, you know, when you find a beautiful formula that not only works, but you know, it's not to heal the pain, but to show me something completely brand new that I after every single meltdown, I have had an epiphany. I can't say it any other way, but it's sort of like we have to, you know, the Spirit says, I want to entrust you with an epiphany. I got an epiphany for you, but I got to know if I can trust you first. And each one of these meltdowns brought me to another level of humility so that I could be trusted with something, another one of these, gems. Um,
Yeah, and Jody, good on you for reaching out, because I think just as equally, we feel like we shouldn't reach out, or maybe you thought, oh, I don't want to bother Kenneth with this, or I wouldn't want to bother so and so with this, but man, all those voices in our heads are just lies, aren't they? Whenever I've shared with someone, it's like, one, I feel better. The person I'm sharing with then feels thankful I felt comfortable enough sharing with them.
Mhm.
And the response from the other person is always the same, that they've probably felt this way too. But we have it in our heads that this is really unique to us, that no one's ever felt this way. I don't want to share it. And we all just kind of suffer in silence. But it's almost like an invitation to share. And through that sharing comes this connection and healing and letting go and kind of this all those lies dissolve, like, oh yeah, this isn't unique or dangerous or whatever is being told. But man, it sure feels like it in the moment.
Yeah. And I had those exact words going through my head too, Jody. Is you said just sit with me. I was repeatedly saying just be with me. That was the big difference too. Yeah, just be with me. Yeah, don't fix me, because I hadn't become so fixed, and I had so little self-trust that I had to just feel those feelings, and I didn't want to fix them. I didn't want to put a pill on them. I just wanted to feel it. But so I totally get what you're saying, Jody, when you said that. Yeah.
Jody and I covered something else, and I saw you were about to speak, Jody, so you can speak to whatever you choose to. But something that we really began to refine, maybe we can talk about it anytime there's a Zoom call. When do we get in the passenger seat? When do we get in the driver's seat? At every stage of the journey, there's going to be a different time and a place to either drive, navigate, or just sit back and, I don't know. It was a great conversation we had. You were going to say something, Jody.
I love that. I don't know what I was going to say. It was something what Greg was going to off of Greg. But yeah, it's important. Each leg of the journey, each chapter in this book we're going to have different tools that work at different times for different things. Yeah. Going with the flow.
Can I share a feeling that I've had? I don't know if anyone can relate to this or not, but it's a feeling that I've had probably for months now, and it comes and goes. But I'm wondering, maybe y'all can help me understand what's maybe behind it, because I'll tell you the specifics, but maybe we can do a deep dive. What's really going on there? The specifics are that it's this feeling of like waking up, for sure, right? Coming off these pills, not smoking, really being here. But it's this kind of panic, a deep panic in my chest of mainly time that has passed. I've been on the pills for decades, so it seems related to that. But this panic of like, oh my God, it feels like waking up from a dream or waking up from a nightmare. You ever wake up from a nightmare and you're like, oh my God, it's that feeling, but it kind of just sticks in my chest. And then it'll take certain forms. Like it'll take forms of, I've had a lot of fears around my parents dying over the past 6 months, year. And those feelings always kind of come up when I'm feeling this panic about time. Or maybe another common feeling that's kind of all bunched in with this is like feeling like I've missed my chance at something, or like time has passed. I don't know. The specifics, I just share that because they feel all related to something deeper. But yeah, any thoughts, insight on this?
Mine. God, I love that, Chris. I know. I had all
It's
that.
just so common. It's like, yeah.
I wish mine got better with time. You know, the longer I stuck with it, you know, these are all societal beliefs that began to dissolve in my story too. I wish I could make it easier for you, buddy. You're on the right path. These will, you know, begin to pulverize. They seem very concrete now, but I had those same too in my story. Actually, and I have good news for you. Everything that I thought had gone wrong. We're all Course in Miracles junkies here. So the Course in Miracles actually is a 180-degree flip. And in everything, I wish I had more specifics. Maybe, you know, Beloved can offer some specifics on this one. Everything that I thought had gone wrong had actually been going right. Everything that I believed was taking me backwards was actually preparing to catapult me forward. There's a quote in the Course in Miracles that says, "We cannot judge our own advances from our own retreats." And I hope Beloved can unmute herself and speak to that. Are you available, Beloved, to add some of your Course in Miracles, because I'm kind of dry on Course in Miracles quotes this morning. I don't know if she can hear me or not, but you got to unmute yourself. I know she's on her iPhone this morning.
He's working on it.
There she goes.
Okay.
The suspense is killing us.
Got
Beloved.
it.
There you are.
Yes. What's so beautiful is that the ego don't like change. You got to understand what we're emerging from, the ego thought system. We're emerging from a belief that this world could make us feel good, that this world can make us, that we can do well in a crazy world. I can't say the world without saying crazy before it. You see, we're crazy because we're supposed to be. If you weren't crazy, I'd be scared. You see what I'm saying? So that's how we got to look at it. Everything we're emerging from. The pills is just your upset for the setup for the upset. That's just something that you added in for more excitement, I guess. I don't know. Wasn't not my path. I'm looking at these Netflix documentaries to understand people who have taken that experience, and I'm just in awe of you all, because that's why God didn't let me get, because I would just be dead off something. Because I have, I'm an extremist with everything. I couldn't have let it go. Them pills, they say how it makes you feel. Oh my God, it made me want to run out and get some. That's what them I'm like, what? You see that? It's terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah.
But so I'm just getting more understanding of what you all are talking about, because I don't know. I don't understand. But it's because I just was crazy, and I went crazy, and I acted crazy, and I destroyed everything around me, and it's still the same thing. I was trying to work this world that wasn't going to work, and I thought it was me. I thought it was wrong with me because they diagnosed me. And let me tell you something. A book of the month, The Myth of Normal, that's Gabor Mate, Greg, that you turned us on. Oh my God. The Myth of Normal. There is no mental illness. Oh my God, we have just been so bamboozled. You'll be so pissed after you read this book.
Yeah.
It's just
I haven't gotten
horrible.
past the first chapter yet.
Are horror. The statistics alone is if you are a statistic person, you will just be horrified.
Yeah.
And you'll be so vindicated, Kenneth. Everything you just said, opening up this Zoom talk, you can quote Gabor Mate, and he's all over YouTube. I mean, his stuff is all over. But the book, he covers every goddamn thing in the world. I wish he was a Course in Miracles student. That's the only thing, because I do believe he has a very bleak view. He's pretty hopeless about the state and any kind of healing. He don't believe in miracles. He don't believe that there's only love. So, but
So he doesn't have
he
a hopeful stance to his work.
In my opinion, I would love to have a book club. Anybody want a book club on this? A myth and normal? We can Marco Polo. I could set it
Okay.
up. I would do it because I think it would be great for us to go through it. I mean, it'd be
Okay.
very challenging. He covers all parts of the world's life. I mean, from finances to race relations to, I mean, he don't women, gender. I mean, he don't leave. And I even finished it.
Mm.
It's pretty intriguing, really. The stuff I'm surprised nobody done shot him because they hating on him though, because
They
he's
hate
upsetting
what?
the apple cart. They're hating on him. His
Uh,
peers are hating on him
really?
because
My
he's
friend, my
yeah,
homeopath is friends with him, and she likes him. Yeah,
right, because she's a homeopath.
yeah,
The
yeah.
allopathic pharmaceutical people are hating on this dude right now.
Okay,
They
okay,
don't like
okay.
what he's saying about ADHD. They don't like what he's saying about mental illness. They don't like what he's saying about the prescription drugs. They don't like what he's saying about nothing. They don't because he don't care. He don't
Yeah.
fucking care. He gonna say what he feels and you
Mhm.
know he this is in his years of experience, years of working with the addicts, years of doing all this shit.
Mhm.
He done had some experience, but
Does he live in New York?
I have no idea.
Vancouver. He's in
Huh?
Vancouver.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
okay,
right. He's Canadian. Right. He's in Canada. Yeah.
okay, okay.
hmm
Yeah.
hmm But
Can I go
all
back to
that to
what
say
Chris said?
is yeah, I was like, and let me just finish this, Chris. There, that pit, I understand it. I still get it. I will wake up in the morning and I will want to. I now know what it is. They call it anxiety. I didn't know that there was a course name for that, but I understand that, and I just think it's those things. The course calls them the things we don't want to see in ourselves, so we project it outside of us. And until we go through that forest of all of our supposed sin and guilt, we
Mhm.
cannot. So it's gonna come up. It's
Mhm.
not done with me. I've been doing this shit for a long time, and I
Mhm.
ain't, without getting off of drugs. Well, or staying on drugs, depending on how you look at my life. But what I'm just saying is, I we're all doing it, Chris. I understand that pit of feeling is like the most terrifying thing, and I'm like, oh my god, what? And there's nothing for it. I just woke up.
Yeah.
So it's a
No,
breathing. I breathe
yeah.
through it, and I ask for help. I breathe through it, and I just ask Holy Spirit for help. That's what I do. So okay, go ahead.
No, totally. And I'm doing the same thing. And it's not so intense right now that it's like ruining my life. I'm kind of just rolling with it. I've dealt with like a lot of anxiety or insomnia recently, and I think it's all related to this. But I'm kind of just observing it, and I think more so I'm just kind of interested in why this specific, very specific feeling tied to these specific thoughts keeps coming up.
And what
And
were the thoughts, though, Chris? What were the thoughts?
mainly it's like kind of this idea like I'm waking up after decades of being asleep or unaware, and
Uh-huh.
it's this panic of like the time that's passed, and I'm actually like I'm shocked at my age,
Oh,
it's just
yeah.
I'm
Okay.
aware of how old I am, but it's like it's all of a sudden like very shocking. um
Mhm.
and there's these feelings of like you know uh, uh wanting to like reach out, needing help. It's total panic. But I'm also, I guess I bring it up because I'm also just interested in it in a way. It seems like, oh yeah, that must be a common thing for anyone who's spent decades on probably any type of drug, any type of psychotropic or
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because I've had the same thing too for 2 years.
really.
2.5 years. Well, I was on that I was on clonop benzos for about, I think it was 24 years, but I've been in withdrawal for 2.5. And yeah, and I was very sick for 8 years and unable to do anything. So it for me, it's kind of like, yeah, I'm trying to take the past and the present and pull them together.
Yeah.
What happened in that period of sleep, of pills, ECTs, and what was happening. And when I look back on pictures, I'm like, what the fuck is that about? I didn't know that happened. I see you know, who are these people? What happened? And it's a bit of panic because I've lost a lot of my memories. But yeah, I totally get that. That's been very big part of me too. I'm starting to be a little bit more at peace with things, but you know, it's taken time. It's taken time for that.
You know, this is where the practice that I think Jody and I and Beloved can jump in, because in on my website there's an essay. It's called "The Script Is Written," and
Okay.
what Jody and I and I know Beloved, but we're all basically Course in Miracles, is when these beliefs come back, you know, that something should have turned out different, or that I've lost time. They're basically all beliefs, but they're societal beliefs that have been entrenched very deeply. The practice becomes, all right, I don't like the way this belief makes me feel. Right now, I'm going through anxiety, you know, remorse, guilt, you know, fill in the blanks. That's the canary in the coal mine. That's the signal to, all right, if I'm starting to feel an upset, then I'm obviously going, this mind, this egoic mind is become my teacher. We've got to, it's an indication to switch teachers. And this is the practice that Keith Kavanaugh has been helping me with, is to, all right, this mind, this egoic mind wants to start to judge it because it believes it knew what went on, when actually it doesn't, but it really is an arrogant thought system that believes that it knew what happened. So we you know, this is the time to switch gears to the other voice and begin the spiritual practice. And the Keith Kavanaugh technique, which is also, you know, it's a common Course in Miracles practice, is to stand back and to watch. It's not just, it's just, I mean, it's a practice that all the saints and the mystics have been pointing towards, but we've got to, you see, this is Chris, and it, you know, all the moment, keep in the I form. It's Kenneth trying to fix Kenneth. It'll never work. Kenneth, you know, that's the mental illness. All right. We need to make some space by standing back and watch Kenneth try and fix Kenneth. Don't judge it. Don't try and stop Kenneth from fixing Kenneth. Watch Kenneth try and fix Kenneth.
Yeah.
And it's like
notice,
the mirror fixing the illusion. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, and then what happened in my story is when I began to watch Kenneth try and heal Kenneth, that's when I heard the voice come back. We've all heard. I don't use the Holy Spirit's voice. The Holy Spirit is simply the memory of God's love. The Holy Spirit is simply a loving presence. And in my story, it was my grandmother who passed in 1983. When I began to watch Kenneth, that chuckle, she was a smoker, so it was a very deep, you know, kind of like the Lucille Ball chuckle. The chuckle came back. And we were watching it together. And suddenly it was not real anymore. We you know, the practice becomes to unbelieve in our own dream characters, but we can't just say, you know, sometimes a fundamentalist course, and you know, an unhealed healer will just say it's all a dream. Well, that doesn't help us much. No, you know, and everyone here is taking those steps to because we can't do it anymore. That's what Jody and I were saying this morning. We can't do it anymore. You know, Kenneth can't fix Kenneth. He tried so hard and but perfect, as if something went wrong. No, something went right because we said help. And when I said help, that's when the chuckle came back. And that's when she said to me, will you let me drive this car now? Let me show you. Because whether it's JC, whether it's, you know, Marsha Price, it doesn't matter. The loving presence that we can connect with. Keith Kavanaugh, you know, says if you're a Hindu, it can be Ganesh or Krishna. You know, it doesn't matter. And if you're really, you know, in the 12 steps hardcore, make your higher power the doorknob. The doorknob one is the hardest I've had.
Because is the idea like yeah, like when I'm feeling anxious or this panicky feeling I'm talking about, it's like I'm also not feeling love. I'm not feeling connected. And so are you saying that, Kenneth, as a way to reconnect and kind of bring back, you know, whatever it is that's kind of your lifeline, your anchor back to that reconnection state?
Beloved's doing this.
That's what you have to do, because either one or the other. See, that's what I found out. It wasn't what you're thinking. It's how it's making you feel. If that thought is bringing that anxiety up, you're fucking in the ego thought system and you're being terrorized again. And you got to reach, say help. I say help. I just say help. Come on, I know y'all out there. Come on, help me. You know, I can't get. Sometimes I feel I can't get myself out of here. I can't get it. I can't feel that connection. I feel very disconnected, and I can't. I don't like that at all, because I like feeling loving. I like feeling involved. I don't like how I try to distance myself and, you know, I close down. That is not me. But that is when I get sucked back in, it's a very intense energy. That's why we have to be vigilant. This is no little thing we're doing. And above all the stuff y'all are doing, getting off of these side effects and stuff, you got to do this. But it multitask. It all goes hand in hand, and ask for help, and you will be superpower people. You'll be superpower emerging people, because you know what I'm saying. Because then you can speed it up if you want by being very vigilant. And like I'm saying, the mirror trying to fix the illusion. Don't get caught up in that shit. Don't. That's the ego again. That's what Ken is saying. The problem can't fix the problem it created. We have to emerge. Emerge means I'm in my right mind. I just call it I'm crazy or I'm not crazy. I know the difference. I know when I'm crazy. I'm hateful, I'm short, I'm closed down, I'm mad, I'm blaming, I am just attacking, I'm just not liking nobody. I'm crazy. That's what I call a mental illness. When I'm sane, I'm balanced, I'm loving, I'm eating right, I'm exercising, I'm loving my kids. I got a little puppy, puppy. You know, I feel that easy.
For me, it's a little bit of processing, and then it's a little bit of moving yourself out of it. Because like last night, well, you know, I was infantilized. Is that how you say it? Infantilized? Kept an infant?
It's a good description. I heard what
I was done that by a narcissist, and I never got to go out and make money, have a family, and all that stuff. And then psychiatry definitely helped me down from. So a lot of it has been grief for me, grief and anger because of that. And so it was kind of like, you know, feel it. But last night I started reading stories, Google articles, not stories, but Google articles on, you know, being a victim. And I was able to move myself out of it a little bit. For me, it's little gentle nudges. You know, you have to feel it, and then you move it forward. Feel it. And I was talking to Jody too. And you know, I said, fate or free will? Is it fate or free will? What happened? And I think this is a hard thing for people to grasp, but I was supposed to suffer for those 8 years. I was supposed to be sick. And as you put it, Kenneth, you know, the script was written. There is no other way. This is really how I was supposed to do it. And, you know, I tried to start over about 10 years ago. It didn't happen. And I kind of realized that, you know, I was supposed to be here with my mother and have that, you know, relationship because, well, we had to have each other. And there, you know, so, you know, to realize that nothing has gone wrong, it's really just taken me every bit of 2.5 years to get to that point. So I'm kind of like Chris, you know, that kind of existential angst, you know, I have that.
I just want to celebrate for you. I love what you just said. I'm celebrating over here. I'm celebrating. Really, that's a celebration. That's a celebration. That's a releasing. That's what I call radical acceptance. Right?
Yeah.
That's radical acceptance. That's hard for me.
Yeah.
Very hard. But that's sane. That's called sanity. That's called I can't change the past. And I realize it.
But the thing is that I kind of realized I was never a money and success person. I'm kind of driven in a lot of ways. And I was doing stuff called popular education, which is kind of like education for the poor. But I was getting everything I needed spiritually. And I was talking to my homeopath, and she said, "You're not supposed to be alive with, on that many the medications I'm on. I'm supposed to be totally under." And she was just telling me, I had a strong vital force, and it's always been there. Even when I was on the pills, my vital force, my soul just kind of pushed past all the side effects somehow.
Yeah, somehow. How about a guardian angel? So,
Yeah.
the word that I keep hearing is innocence. Ultimately, we're here to recapture the only truth. One of the fundamental truths is we are innocent. We are.
Mhm.
And the ego does not like that, and it's going to go on a just a tirade to try and prove us so otherwise.
Mhm.
And everyone here has chosen, nope, I'm gonna stamp my innocence.
Yeah.
Because that one witnessing the dream character Greg, the dream character Kenneth, the dream character Jody, Beloved, and Chris, the
Mhm.
one witnessing is what's true. The dream characters are. And Greg, if you hadn't made money, you would have been, you would have wasted this entire life if you had pursued paper strips and little round metal discs. What a waste! I'm sorry, I get real. For some people, but pursuing that in and amongst itself is another form of mental illness. Who wants to speak on it? Because I love the way you guys are going around. Yeah, your turn.
Going back into me again. Well, yeah, I just kind of, I've spent the 2.5 years thinking of finances and all that stuff, and it's important not to be homeless. But I just kind of, I think for me, getting off these pills, and I don't know, this might resonate with y'all, but it's almost like I'm learning to get back to that self, get back to that spiritual self, and those spiritual social beliefs and economic, I won't go into it, but economic and political feelings. It's kind of like I have to learn how to get back to that. It's learning how to be yourself again, almost for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
raising ourselves again. We're learning how to support ourselves. And you don't have to
Mhm.
be capitalist and money grubber to want to be able to support yourself. I understand, Greg,
Yeah.
and not to feel you're going to be homeless.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
So, but we found that for some of us that wasn't our path.
Uh-huh.
Again, it's just radical acceptance, and we'll be provided for however it is. And some of us will make money, some of us, well, that's like irrelevant.
Uh-huh.
But it's where you're approaching it from. If you're in the lower realms of depression and anger, and you,
Mhm.
it's not going to feel good. It's not going to look good. It's not going to be hope. You're not going to be led. We'll be led when we're
Mhm.
in the higher realms, when we're feeling good. Then you don't
Mhm.
have to figure it out. Shit
Yeah.
will plop down in front of you. You'll be like, oh damn, I'm supposed to be doing that. If you're not,
Mhm.
I done had brick walls have to drop on me before I figure out I'm not supposed to do that. But some of us, if you're in tune, you get a bit led, and you go in and out of it. It's like aligning, misaligning. When we're aligned, hey, life flows. That beautiful feeling flows. Synchronicities happen. It's like effortless. We're like, oh, God must have known what I want. It's like that.
Yeah.
And I will witness that. So there's rewards for this work we're doing here. There's rewards for emergence. And it's much funner playing in synchronicity in the flow than fucking trying to figure out what the next financial investment, crypto, blid gold, come on. That shit gives
Yeah.
me, oh my God, it's so boring. I will be asleep in 2 seconds to start that conversation.
Mm.
But that's just me.
One of the stories that was in my parable was I come from a family that was was trying to do the best they could by making decisions based on tax loopholes. We would move, based on what would be the highest benefit, for saving on taxes. They were trying. My father was trying the best he could to provide, what they called a provider, and it collapsed in a big way. My last name is Price. There's no accident to that. So capitalism. I don't really want to bring capitalism into this discussion. But I like what Beloved said. It took a lot. It took a lot in my story, a lot of humble leveling to realize I am provided for. And green paper strips and little round metal discs are anybody want to pick up on this? Because I'm sure you guys can take the ball. It's basically, we are provided for fear.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm thinking. Like, I went the other way. I think I've mentioned this to you, Greg. Like, I've been working throughout my whole withdrawal and everything, and I look at where I've come in my career, and I can't help but think, like, man, I think a big motivator for me, sure, there was passion, there was a lot of positives, but there's also a lot of fear. There's a lot of fear of, like, if I become, I have to become successful, because then I can be taken care of. Then everything will be okay.
Yeah.
And and I think also what you're saying, beloved, about being aligned, or or connected, not connected. Nothing disconnects me more often than going to work. It's tough. It's tough to bring your authentic self to a workplace.
Mhm.
It's something I'm trying to get better at, because I also think that I don't think it's the workplace stopping me from bringing my authentic self. It's not like there's a rule that you can't do that. I think it's me, and in my own self-limiting beliefs of what you should and shouldn't do, and how you should and shouldn't act, and what will happen if you say certain things. But I don't think a lot of that's true. I think actually the majority of it's false. That just lives in my head. And but it takes time, and it's taken practice for me to, like, kind of slowly step out of my comfort zone, and, like, can I do that? Can I say that? Like,
Yeah.
and you said it, something that really resonated with me, Greg. It's just like, yeah, who am I? Who am I, and how do I act, and what do I say, and what do I believe, and how do I operate from that authentic self, so that it can stay in that alignment, instead of trying to, be someone else and then get disconnected.
That's
And
what we're here for. That is the whole point of this whole. That's why we're all here. We all went crazy not being who we are. Now all we're saying is, who am I? And aligning with that. That is the work. Who you waiting to tell you who you are? The world? The world already told you who it wants you to be. It's very clear. Make the money. Buy more. More is better. This is what the world's telling. It's never going to be enough. Just come on. We're all clear on that. Who's ever said, "Oh, I have enough money"? Raise your hand. Even at the buffet, I'm looking at somebody else's plate. What you got? It's never going to be enough. That's the whole point here. To find out who we are. That is why we're here. Because we're here because we thought we were something else. We think we're this body running around in this world trying to make ourselves feel better and through pleasure. There's a difference. I love that Tame makes a difference between pleasure and happiness. It's two different. One is serotonin and one is dopamine. We broke it down like that. He said that's how you tell the difference between pleasure and happiness. And believe me, we think pleasure is our happiness, and that is hell. So good luck with that. No, happiness comes from within.
Can I jump in real quick? I think I'm a little bit tired. Well, I don't think I am a little bit, but I can still participate. Okay, I got to share with the group an epiphany that I had. At first, I was like, looked at David Hoffmeister like, what's this man talking about? But he was right. In the world, success and failure are two sides of one coin. They're the exact same. The sitting in the audience, with my grandmother Marcia or Jody would be sitting with Jay, he has no idea what, we might as well just be speaking, Swahili, success, failure, it's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. When we come into the theater, we realize, or come into the audience, that if we want to view it from his perspective, he just can't understand why we have these beliefs in success and failure, because we want to stay on the screen itself and we want to still be in character. We're character actors. The method, I did a website for a friend of mine, Alan Bridgewater, method acting drama studio. We're great actors. I said it last week. Good job. You fooled us all that you were a Chris. Good job. You fooled us all you were a Greg. I fooled everyone. I told them, everyone thought I was Kenneth Stephen Price, born 4, 5, 6, 7, perfect. I might as well have been in drag the whole time. We should just, call the Zoom call a bunch of drag queens getting together, taking off their makeup. Sorry. Success and failure.
And it's a process. Look how long it takes to put that makeup on. I don't think we can fool ourselves here that it's going to be an instant fix. I don't want to, what is Kenneth? You always say fart rainbows and whatever. There's no quick fixes here. This is a process, a journey. That's what I got messed up on, because I said, oh, we're supposed to love everybody. Okay, I love everybody. It ain't that fucking easy. No. You're supposed to do this. Okay, I'm that. No, you can't just say it. It don't fool. Energy you can't fool. The truth has to happen in you. This is the work. This is what we're doing here. It's no quick fix. There's no, I'm impatient. Oh, well. That's my added, that's my setup. That's my upset.
Yeah, because
I have to work through.
I think I don't know if this is what you're saying or not, beloved, but it's like, for a long time I thought, well, I should quit my job. Like if I quit my job, then things will be better. And then I don't think that's true. I think wherever you go, there you are, right? And I think that so for me, I'm trying to keep my job but practice all this stuff, in my day-to-day life, and try not to kind of fall back to old habits and everything. But yeah, it's easy to be like, oh, or it's easy to think that oh yeah, we shouldn't chase success. So it's like, oh, so I'll quit my job. Or like you said, yeah, oh, I just gotta love everyone, so I'll just love everyone. But man, the truth is always somewhere in the middle, or there's some kind of balance there, and that's the tricky part, is trying to figure that out.
The thing is, you're lying. That's my point. You're lying to yourself. You're trying to you think you should be at a point where you're mentally and physically, emotionally strong enough to withstand walking away from a income that you've been doing this for. No, that's like crazy. That's you taking the steering wheel of the car. That brought me back to the steering wheel, what position you're in. That's when the ego's in control. He got to drive the car because you looking forward, you looking back, and there's who's behind you looking forward. You ain't present. I can be present if I'm in the back seat because I know I'm in the flow. I'm being led. I don't have to worry. I just know what to do. It's going to drive me there. I get out the car, do what I'm doing. I get back in the flow. I'm led to the next thing. This is the positioning we're going through. So that was my thing. This is what caused me, because I'm thinking I'm so spiritually. I've done all this work for 20 years. I've done Tai Chi, and I should be. And I was lying to myself. And it's very difficult. That's just another layer of shit that the ego is taking over to make you feel guilty about. Because now you find out, oh my God, I've been fooling myself. I'm not doing my real work. My real work is to know that I'd like to love everybody, but I don't like this motherfucker right here. That's my work.
I love
whatever's in front of my face. That's my work. You see, whatever comes up, it's gonna come because I might be in that energy. The work's gonna come up for us. All of our darkness is gonna come up. Like somebody just said, it's gonna come up. You're gonna have to, help. Geez, if you're in your practice, it ain't gonna be nothing. It's gonna be an easier speed bump. You ain't gonna be in that depression for so long or that anxiety for that long. You'll be laughing off, blah, blah, blah. But it depends. If you're all crooked out of alignment and you just don't even know how to, that's why A Course in Miracles is our foundation. We don't go to say, well, I think this day, or I'm in Gabor Mate reading this, and I'm in this book. No, but beneath all that is The Course in Miracles for me. I have to be grounded because I got ADHD according to him. I got ADHD, ABC. But but it's normal to have.
Are you a Course in Miracles person, Chris? Have you read that first yet?
No, I haven't read it. No, everything I know is just from this group, really.
Right. Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. I know the Unitarian.
I'm just saying,
Church.
ground yourself in something.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Ground yourself in a practice. It could be I don't know. I don't care what it is, but until I had that, it's just I'm all over the place. But and what proves something to me is when I stick to something unbeknownst that I even have the capacity to do it in my head.
Yeah.
So when I turn around, I say, "Oh man, I really been practicing Tai Chi for this long. That's a miracle. That's a miracle to me, because
Uh,
I don't. My attention span is like I do 200 things at one time. So the witness is what's good for us. We know and nurture that. What makes you happy? What makes you feel good? That's our superpower here. If y'all can get out of this suffering like that, isn't that worth it? You don't have to suffer out of suffering. You got to feel happy out of suffering, and that's our problem. We don't know how to feel happy. We don't know how
yeah.
to be kid. Be a kid. Do something that makes you feel. That's why I play we. We be screaming, be acting like a little kid. I do think that I go around my grandkids. They little girls, and they just like me, crazy. We just go screaming and acting crazy. That's all you got to do. You just gotta be a
Yeah.
kid. You gotta be happy. You gotta know that's spiritual. Happiness is spirituality, and that's
Yeah.
that's true. 'Cause you
Yeah,
can't fake
really.
it. You can't fake that shit. You just can't fake it. You can't fake
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah.
You put that plastic smile on your face. Oh yeah, and be on social media, but you can't convince me that's happy.
The more I read
Understand
about
happy is the energy.
Edward Bach is and his philosophy, it's really, really, truly, and this is kind of what I realized that I've always been, before I started getting sick on the benzos, was that I've always been happy. I've always had that connection between the self and the higher self, you know.
Me too. I
Yeah,
was a happy little girl, even in a
yeah.
terrible household. I was
Really?
still happy.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, good.
Can I share something with the group
Yeah, go for it.
I'm real. I didn't realize I was so tired. I'm trying to wrap up this project, but there was something I want to share with the group. I had I got to be careful with names because people like their anonymity. I don't care about my anonymity. Other people do. So I was talking with a mighty companion who's my same age, and we've been in the same social circles, the same gay communities, and part of our one of our escapes in the gay community was sex. I mean, the gay community is just they celebrate sex, free sex.
Yeah.
So it's and we were kind of like two middle-aged,
And Mel, let me just Mel, it's you guys. It's not us.
all right. Anyway, and we're both, of course, the Miracle students, and we're both in the same. We kind of were looking out. We were kind of like just bumming, and he said, "It doesn't work anymore." And I said, "Mine doesn't work anymore, obviously, because we're getting old. We're not the cute little party boys." But I looked at him and I said, "Do you regret yours?" He goes, "No, I didn't regret." And I said, "I don't regret mine either." So I think that's kind of the way, it's designed. Actually, I don't regret it at all. Again, the script is written. And I really believe that was spirit speaking through both of us. And I don't think it's just relegated to sex. I think it's all of our distractions. And that's part of the 12 steps is in the promises. We will not regret the past nor wish to shut the door on it. We will comprehend the word serenity and we will know peace. We will see how our experience will benefit others. So I had to add that in before, we got about, 5 minutes left, but that's a gem that really, basically, it's pretty simple. It's only the ego that wants us to look back with it. We had a word for it in the 12 steps. We called it morbid reflection. It was I love that one because it fit like a glove.
Yeah.
And that's, things should have turned out differently. Boy, that is 100% ego right there.
Yeah.
And then you get to live that life. If you want that, you get to live that life again. See, that's how it keeps going on. You get to live that version then. I didn't grow up on this. I grew up like this. It's all a dream. I can see myself wanting to come back and live this perfect life like this. But first give me all this so I can show how special I am that I can overcome all this shit and still be the spiritual perfect. You see, I got to do the work. That's what I didn't know. I thought I could I'm so smart, I'm so this, I could just snap through it. No. I didn't realize how deep it goes. And how deep it goes is how that suffering. I'll just call it the suffering because I have that deep. If I feel I know that it's like a shadow. And I said, light comes and shine it away. I'm not dragging it because I know it's not true. I'm not asking nobody to come and witness my shadow because they can't see it. I can explain everything I'm thinking. Y'all still won't know. I still don't really know what you're saying, Chris. I can just, you know, well, is it like my feeling? You know, I don't really know. You see what I'm saying? But
Totally.
you know, it's your particular monster. Is all I'm saying. You done made it.
Yeah.
Your particular monster.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, and I think that's what I've been feeling lately, that like I said, the specifics of it doesn't really matter, right? It's like whatever, we all have our own specifics, and kind of takes its own shape. But at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, I like that. It's your monster, your shadow. What are you gonna do with it? What are you gonna and I've been getting tired of this feeling coming up. I asked it the other day out loud. I was like just laying down in my bed and trying to meditate because it was so gripping me. So I just asked out loud, I was like, what do you want? What do you want? You know, like, I'm here, I'm listening, I'll feel whatever I need to feel, but my God, you know, like, let it go.
Write it down next time. I want to know the answer. Take or write that down when you ask it. That's a good thing to do. I'm
Yeah.
gonna do that. That's
Yeah.
good. No, that's how you look at it.
But I
That's
think it's
good. I
like a
like
lot of things, right? It's like, it's almost like, I don't know, some monster you're running from, and finally you get tired enough to stop and turn around and go, why are you chasing me? And the monster's like, you're not supposed to turn around and ask me that. Like, that's not how the game's played. You know, it's like there didn't seem to be anything there, because I don't think there is anything really there. You know, I think it's just fear, and then the monster, you know, it'll probably take a new shape even, and there'll be a new fear that pops up, and a new, you know, specific.
thank you, Chris, for it took us 56 minutes, but you finally came up with the title for this Zoom call. Brilliant. We're not being chased by monsters.
What do I win?
We're not being chased by
Yeah.
monsters. Folks, for the recording purposes, I want to end on that note. I don't think we can top it. As usual, we'll leave the Zoom room open for as long as you want. This is Kenneth Price on Sunday, June 4th, and this has been, I don't have any more counseling left, you know, over 100 Zoom calls for psychiatric sobriety.com with Chris, Greg, Beloved, and Jody. I couldn't be more thrilled, couldn't be more grateful, because you're all healing me. I just teach what I need to learn, and that's emergence in a nutshell. All right, so if you're watching this on YouTube, you can leave your comments, but even more important than your comments, join us 9 a.m. Pacific time on Sunday morning, 12 noon Eastern time. God bless, and may the force be with you. Thanks again, everyone.